Hey guys, this is Gaijin Hunter, and unless you've been asleep, at work, or living under a rock, you probably have heard that there was a new teaser trailer for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak revealed at the Game Awards 2021. It's a short one, it's another teaser showing off a brand new dragon and really giving us sort of confirmation of what the main story setting is going to be, and introducing a new character which appears to be Rondine's older sister. This has all been teased over the last few weeks. You saw the video I did where they talked about the Royal Kingdom and its knights. And I went over, the story facts that Rondine has a sister, which was teased on their Twitter. The fact that they work for the Queen, and that they come from a Royal Kingdom that's isolated away from the other continents. And here we get a confirmation it's called Elgato, not Elgato, even though the company did make the chance to make a joke about it. They announced both this trailer, and then they also shared that there's going to be 3 new amiibos, one for the flagship monster, and there's going to be one for the dog and the cat in a special outfit. Now in Japanese media, they did call this the Meruze X set, which is nice to know that we're getting confirmation that G rank or master rank is going to retain its naming conventions, which is X for the sort of master rank versions. So that's kind of neat, and I'm really curious what the hunter's outfit is going to look like, because we don't get any hint of that here, just what the cat and the dog look like. So let's go over the trailer in slow motion so I can talk about some of the stuff I noticed. This looks like a brand new map. It does not look like the Frost region from the 3rd generation, and it doesn't look like the Frost region from Monster Hunter Rise. Nor would that make sense, right? They're supposedly in this different land in which there's this blood moon type thing. They're calling it silver light. My guess is that the silver light from the moon, when it breaks, when it comes out, it causes the monsters to become more powerful. In this case, we're seeing the new monster is sort of like a werewolf motif. The whole idea that Rise is taken off of Japanese yokai, and this expansion is going to be a more Western yokai version, which I love. We've got the vampire with the flagship, and now we have a werewolf. Then we see Itsushi get completely knocked out of the way by this unbelievably cool sword and shield user with a rapier, and she says, "Leave the beast to me, this is a royal matter," confirming that this is definitely about the kingdom in which they come. Now this is a brand new monster. We see her do this nice little cinematic leap and a chop downward. She looks so badass, oh my gosh. And we get a cut into the title logo. I had to point out, look at how beautiful the water looks in this next scene. It is absolutely gorgeous. RE Engine is crazy. We see the birds, we see her coming forward with her awesome outfit. If that's the default outfit you can get in the game, or if that's like a one that you can get for clearing the game, I'm going to use it. And she reveals the name of their town, their outpost, called Elgato. And we notice that it's in a region that has a lot of mountains. Very different terrain than what we're used to from the previous game. And of course confirmation that it's summer 2022. Now this is a preview, so I expect that they won't really do the first official trailer until either near the end of this month or in January, around the time the PC version for Rise is released. In which case they'll give us a full-on trailer, gameplay, and all sorts of stuff like that. These are just meant to be a teaser, and honestly this is quite on par for Capcom and most game companies in fact. They generally start their marketing campaigns, so to say, about 6 months out from release. So it makes sense for them to just tease it, keep it part of the topic of conversation until the end of the year, and then around either the end of this month or in January, then sort of start off the huge reveals. That way that they have enough content to sort of feed us without running out, and they don't overspend on their marketing budget. Because marketing for over 6 months is generally not a good thing, at least that's my understanding. So what you're seeing here is the Japanese version. I'm going to rewind it after we look at the official screenshots that they gave out to the media, and I'm going to talk about the differences and the things that I noticed between the lines of dialogue, which are very interesting. So the first in-depth thing I want to call out here, because I know not all of you follow Twitter, but on the official Twitter they did have this series of tweets from the cat, Fukashigi, who has all the informant information. And he says that Rondine the trader is from a land where hunters serve a king and are called knights. Do note that the king is never mentioned inside the game, it's only the queen. So who knows if that was accurate, or there is a king and queen. Rumor says that she has an older sister who's a knight, devoted to protecting the kingdom. Isn't that amusing? It is. So this is where we get the idea that she is, they're both knights, and that her older sister is different from her. And we do get a hint from the cat that is with Rondine in the game that says that her master Rondine is a master of the longsword. And just so you guys know that I'm not speculating here, on the Japanese Twitter for Monster Hunter Rise, they had a little bit different information than the English Twitter did. They said here's the second teaser for Sunbreak coming in summer 2022. We'll see here, we see a new character, and we see, we're also able to see the new town or outpost called Elgato. Please watch here, and then they give the link. So they are confirming that this is a new character, so this is definitely not Rondine, but looks really much like her. And I love this idea that she and her sister look similar, and I think it would be hilarious if they were twins, sort of mirroring the twins of Kamura, and then we'll have, like, say, I don't know, the twins of Elgato. There's nothing that suggests that they're twins, that's just me speculating and talking out loud. But anyways, she looks awesome. So here is the official render for the new monster that they're confirming, called Lunagaron, or Lunagaron, however you want to pronounce it in English. We don't know yet. The Japanese does go a step further and gives us the nickname, which is the Ice Wolf Wyvern. This follows the same naming convention as Zinogre and Stygian, with the whole wolf wyvern, and it is a fanged beast, and this being ice. So if you notice in the trailer, when it howls at the moon, it gains these wonderful, huge, like ice fur effects and becomes much more powerful. Otherwise, it's pretty slim and sort of reminds me a little bit of Tobikadachi, actually. This is the official screenshot for the area in which we saw it. Again, all the things with the two areas we've seen for Sunbreak, they seem to be unique locations, and the moon seems to be a pretty predominant thing. Now, this is my speculation, but I think it would be kind of cool if the idea is that the day-night cycle is faster in this game, and that the monster's behavior changes as it turns to night. It's just an idea that I had, just because we have like the whole werewolf thing, vampires becoming strong at night, stuff like that. I thought it would be kind of cool. But this is another official screenshot of the monster. And here is the official screenshot of what it looks like when it starts to become more powered up. So you can see the ice crystals forming below its sort of chin and its body, its spikes on its back puffing outwards. I would say that this is pretty much a clear reference to a werewolf. Let's go back to the trailer and see how they introduced the monster, because I believe that this is actually the ecology intro video for the monster.
A creature wanders restlessly through the darkness. Silver light illuminates the land and the mountains, and with an entranced roar, it shows its true form.
Now, I don't know if you guys caught the performance there, but it's very clear to me that this is a poem. It's structured like a poem, it reads like a poem, and it rhymes. It's wonderful. And I think this is going to be the new style for intros. It's kind of interesting because they had such a unique style in the Japanese version of Rise, where it's like a song, that they really couldn't replicate in English. It would make no sense to anybody. So they actually went with kind of like a, like open stage night at a poetry club in a coffee shop kind of idea with the English. But now they're really, I think they're leading with the English, and it sounds much more natural and goes really well and nice. The Japanese is just doing a flat out translation of it this time. They're not trying to stylize it in a way that's, comparable in Japanese, because poetry is just different. But here's what the Japanese sounds like.
地を踏みしめ歩みはやむことなく雲を分け月は姿を現し歓喜の方向に真なる姿をさらけ出す
Yeah, I'm not going to go through each word in here in Japanese, but it's much more clear, I actually think, even in Japanese, that they're talking about the moon appearing, and then with a shriek or roar, the monster bears its true form. And it's like cause and effect. So they're definitely saying that there's a causal effect between the moon coming out and this thing becoming more powerful. What is interesting is we do see this thing at the nighttime in the ancient ruins, which is the island of Kamura, or wherever it takes place, and it's not in its super form. So I find that interesting. I don't know if it's significant or maybe it changes after this cutscene. I don't know. But it's really interesting that the queen is going to dispatch her knight, Randine's sister, to come and protect the land of Kamura. Because there was some dialogue that suggested that Randine wanted to help out in the fight against Narwa, but she was forbidden to do so because the queen was worried about Randine getting injured. Of course, I think her sister is much more badass and can probably handle herself better, so she probably dispatched her to help out. And I want to go over this next clip because I want you to pay attention to two things. One, the music. The music is very Western sounding. It's almost Dark Souls-ish. They still have singing, which was a big thing about Rise, but it's now more of a medieval chorus, and it just sounds so, I don't know the right, regal? It might be the right word, but it sounds so cool, and I can't wait to get this brand new vibe of Monster Hunter without it even needing to be its own brand new game. It's an expansion. Like, this is really cool. Also, the voice acting is so good.
Leave the beast to me. This is a royal matter.
So not only am I a huge fan of this voice acting and it sounds really good, I also love what they did with the script. The whole "this is a royal matter" really sets the tone, and it's actually different from what they have in the Japanese, which is just something a little bit more situational. So I'm going to show you the Japanese, and I'm going to give you a very direct fan translation of what she's saying. So the one thing they do that echoes very true in both versions here is the amount of sheer confidence that she has and just how direct she is. Like, she is very sure of herself. She's probably a commander or something like that because she's giving orders, and if you look at those little like gestures she does with her head, there's no question. She's like, you do this. She's giving the orders here. So very empowered, very strong, and very capable. So I can't wait to hear her backstory. For this next part, I guess the only really thing to pay attention to is one, just how awesome the character model and the outfit is, but also the music. You can actually hear the refrain from the main Proof of a Hero, right? The dun 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 dun. You can hear it, but in a different fashion than it's ever been done before, which I think is awesome.
We shall be in port soon. This is our outpost, Elgato.
And because we have such little to go through in this trailer, I will show you the Japanese, although it's identical to what they're saying in English.
間もなく到着するぞ。私たちの拠点、エルガトだ。
Also, call me nerdy, but I can appreciate the technical achievement here of what I'm seeing, which is they're using the same lip animation, but they're doing a really good job of timing both the English and the Japanese to be the same length, and also words that seem to match the mouth movements pretty darn good. We'll have to see how it looks in the final game, but from what I saw, I thought it was lip synced, but when I looked at it closer, it wasn't. So I don't know, whatever they're doing, great job, and I can't wait to see more. And that's pretty much it. There's really not much more we can get out of this preview. It's really short. I know some people are probably a little disappointed. They wanted to see the actual first trailer. I know that they did tweet and say that they're going to be starting up the comics again that are drawn by Minoto, and that's going to start in January. But unlike the English post, the Japanese post said that it's going to be the Sunbreak like chapter of her comics, which makes me think that they're going to do a Monster Hunter Direct either near the end of this month or in earlier January, probably to talk a little bit about the PC version and then to show off the official trailer for this. So I think we'll be getting news pretty soon. Anyways, I love this little preview. It's got me super excited. Hopefully you as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and until next time, happy hunting.